Wait! Shut the f up! Shut the f up!
They've come to these mythical shores, seeking mastery over death itself.
I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. Dude, I have literal goosebumps.
And beautiful paradise, where primal forces clash.
Oh, dude, I have goosebumps.
Over the island's deepest.
Show me something. Show me something. Was that swimming? There were people swimming there. There were people swimming there.
Where heroes are forged and demons are born.
Mommy Bella. Is that Tempest? That looks like Tempest.
Is Aeternum.
That's right, New World Aeternum will launch on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on October 15th. And now you can play the game start to finish as a solo player or play co-op and use crossplay as well. If you're watching SGF on TikTok Live right now, you can comment HSR in the chat to claim a special in-game bundle for Honkai Star Rail of Stellar Jade from TikTok Game Rewards. And speaking of Honkai Star Rail, Hoyoverse's latest space fantasy RPG just concluded its version 2.3 special program a few hours ago. But there's more. A sneak peek at the upcoming expedition featuring a beloved character who is clearly ready for the forthcoming journey with her brand new look.
Oh no. There's more, right? There's another one?
Why do people choose to sleep?
There's another one, right?
It's because they're afraid to wake up from the dream.
Is there a second one?
Everything is possible.
There's a dev video coming later. So there was, it's not another DLC. New World Aeternum was the original IP for the game.
Nightmarish past will disperse and fade away like.
Did that guy say new word?
The future that you don't want to face will never come.
Yeah, we got swimming and console. That's gotta be a fake announcement. He did say solo or co-op, and then he also said crossplay. The bear mount was in there. Yeah, the bear mount from PS5. $107,564. They renamed on Twitter too, Xbox Store package here. Yeah, I think they're just going back to the original IP of New World Aeternum.
Because in the end, we will wake from our dreams.
War dance? I can't miss out. I'm joining too.
Console server size capped at 1,000. Online co-op 2 to 10 is also inaccurate. Maybe those are just generic tags. There we go. Yo! Tom with the 10 gifties! Let's go! Let's go! We go crazy. All right, let's go.
They've come to these mythical shores, seeking mastery over death itself.
Huge.
A cruel and beautiful paradise.
Wait, was it 20? Oh, no, 10, 20 total.
Where primal forces clash over the island's
Origin coming in with the 5
secrets.
gifties as well. Let's go, chat. Let's get crazy. Summon the good energy here. Let's keep the gifties rolling. Get a hype train freaking pumping here.
Where ancient
This trailer's
mysteries
beautiful so
awaken.
far. This trailer's beautiful so far. This is so nice. Show off that sound design. Show off the settlements. Let's go. Winter Room Forge, okay?
To unleash the power of legends. Where blades
Great sword.
and bows unite.
Great sword, bow, hammer, spear, brimstone. Brimstone pyramid? Brimstone pyramid expedition, maybe? That's a sandworm outside of the sandworm arena.
where
gifty.
heroes are
Keep it rolling,
forged.
baby. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Cap. The edit. Oh, that's facts. Fair. I got too excited.
Demons are born.
Show me something. Show me something. Show me something.
This is Aeternum.
Yo, an anonymous 5 gifties? Wait, I never get anonymous gifties. Yo, thank you for the anonymous gifties, anonymous gifter. I appreciate you. Pre-order now and get the Azos Stalker Wolf mount. There are also other mounts that are coming in.
Hi, everybody.
in
Welcome to the New
bundles.
World Aeternum announcement development
Scott Lane
update.
yadded up.
Announcement? Oh, that's right. We announced console. Woo! And not just
Scott Lane's
console, but
yadded.
anyone who has the PC version of the game and purchased Rise of the Angry Earth is going to have access to all of this as well. So I'm here with Dave and Katie, and we're going to bring out the rest
What up,
of the team
Dave?
in a little bit, and we're going to
What
tell you
up,
about
Katie?
all the things coming in this, starting with
Hey,
storytelling.
where's chat,
We're going
Katie?
to tell you the story of Aeternum.
Chat, Katie, are you
'cause
here
it's
right
kind of
now?
this crazy, like,
Or are you in
lost
the video
island.
right now?
And we're going to tell it through enhanced dialogue system, IGCs, pre-rendered cutscenes, and then we're going to do other things, Dave.
Yeah, we're going to talk about navigating throughout the world, like this third-person, open roaming, mantling, jumping. What's great is it's like an open world you can explore. We're going to talk about the combat. It's action-based
Have
combat.
they said anything yet?
Where
Console in the
distances,
trailer.
ranges, aiming, all that stuff matters. It's a very kinetic feeling combat.
Yeah, for sure. And
This
we'll
is the
also
dev
talk
update.
about the soul trials, which after you've done your solo experience or, group experience if you like, but
Jumping.
this is really geared towards the solo player. So once you've solo experience through max level, you get to do this repeatable endgame content, which is super fun. We're going to dig into that. And then speaking of endgame, there's a big, broad endgame out there. So
I'll
we're
show
going
you
to
a
dig
big,
into the
broad
pieces
endgame,
of that.
Katie.
And I'm super excited for that section.
Twitch.tv/Dustywhy.
Yeah, now we're going to talk about just. Katie mentioned
on,
it's a
Scott.
solo,
Come on,
solo
Scott.
or a
Come on,
multiplayer
Scott.
game.
Make my
And
nips
because
hard.
of that, we have a lot of effort on performance, making it performant
fuck on.
for as many players as
fuck
can get
on.
together, or
Come
as
on,
few,
Scott.
and then a
Come on,
huge
Scott.
effort into just the overall quality of the game. So when you get it, the experience
on,
feels
Scott.
good. Then we're going to wrap it up by getting a bunch of the team members together, and we're going to talk about what's coming
Oh,
next.
this is going to be so nice.
So why don't you just sit back, enjoy the ride, and have some fun.
I'm so excited.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob.
Whoa,
This is Nathan
look.
and Charles here to talk about storytelling and really what is
Katie,
the world
what
of Aeternum from a narrative perspective. And of course, this is an
Maybe.
island. This is the island of
15.
legend. It's Eden. It's Shangri-La. It's
gifties
Atlantis.
from
It's a place. It's
Maybe.
a magical, supernatural
Chat, we're going
island
crazy.
that's in the world
Beans
that's persisted
with the
across
follow.
history.
Yo, Beans, I saw your
And,
game
And players
earlier.
quickly learn here
I saw
that
your
like,
game.
this is a place where you live forever. No one dies on Aeternum.
Boys,
But there's
we're
all
going
kinds
crazy.
of magic and stuff that players are going to encounter as they come here from the old world. They set sail from the old world at the beginning of the game. And I think that kind of takes us into, who are you?
Right.
Can't hear the video. They're
Tell
talking
me,
about
who
the
are you,
lore of
Charles?
this.
No, who is the player? I think at the very beginning, the player is kind of the adventurer, the explorer, we kind of set it up so you can pick from your archetypes because players come with different play styles from other games or other MMOs. So we wanted to kind of give the player a little bit of an open slate, but give them buckets to I want to be a healer, I want to be a priest, I want to be a soldier, I want to
what?
be an explorer, I want to be
Oh, this
I'm a
was
ranger.
pre-beta.
So there's
Okay.
kind of a starting
what the
off point
fuck?
for the player to
Wait,
latch
is
onto
that
their character,
actually
but then
like the
you
starter?
customize your character and make it kind of whatever you want from there. But everybody starts with that, you're this adventurer on this boat sailing
And you get,
to
like, a
this
starter
mythological,
class?
mysterious island, and it's sort of the game goes from there.
Yeah, you're on this expedition to explore this fantastical island, and as you sail in, disaster, catastrophic storm strikes.
Steph Curry?
Pretty dramatic moment that we've realized in
Swimming.
cinematics, and
Oh, they're going to go to
it's
gameplay with
What
swimming
kind of
and you
stuff do you
swim to the
expect
shore.
on this island? What can the player expect to discover or find as they go there?
You're going to meet characters from history.
Lumberyard
You're going to
doesn't
meet
have swimming.
cultures from history. You're going to encounter ancient Romans, ancient Egyptians. You're going to brush up against characters straight out of Arthurian legend, like Sir Galahad. You're going to brush up against characters who are from real world history, like Grace O'Malley. In fact, one of your early friends is a Irish pirate of some renown.
Yo!
And each of these characters really gets a lot of attention. Like, we've really worked hard on making these characters both fun and interesting, and then also realizing the way they show up on Aeternum. The way that whatever they brought to the island, and then the way they reacted to the reality of this place where no one dies.
Thank you. We're going so crazy right now.
Life. Those characters are pretty huge. I feel really good about the way the characters have come out.
You guys are
I was
going
to add, there's also all the supernatural
y'all.
creatures and monsters and things you're going to have to deal with along. You meet these characters, but then they're part of these groups. Like the Corrupted is this horrible, dark, black, demonic stuff that seems to affect characters' minds, and it manifests in a bunch of ways. And then there's the Lost, and they're almost like zombies. They're sort of losing their soul and their sense of self, and
so this is
they become
updated.
these sort of
This is
husks.
That's where you go into
Angry
the
Earth, which is like the plant life of the island, sort of coming to life and manifesting as creatures that are trying to drive out all these invasive forces that are sort of taking over parts of the island. And there's a lot of range within that. All these different creatures you're going to sort of have to deal with and build different strategies and different armor and into sort of the nitty-gritty of game mechanics.
And I think we do a really good job actually, like bringing the
Bro, that would be so crazy if devs were watching this out of all of the streams.
Really elevated. It's a cinematic experience.
That would be so
really.
crazy.
All these vignettes along the way that we've kept in game as well. And just breadcrumbing
I like that they're highlighting the lore and stuff too. This is going to be good to get new players into the game.
More sense as they, get past this process. But we did a good job with that.
Shifting allies who become enemies, conflicts between the characters, like a lot of these come to life, especially in the ways that we've enhanced the storytelling since this game launched on PC a few years ago.
Yeah, non-gifter is a real one. All of our gifters are real ones. I love and appreciate everybody.
We have
Maybe
an
with the
enhanced
15,
dialogue
anonymous
system,
with the 15.
the conversation experience is
we got
way
Cap,
more
we got
cinematic
Orchid,
than
we
it
got
used to
Thom,
be. And
we got
those characters come
Primers
to
out
life
there,
like
we
never
got
before.
Godspeed with the T1, we
and
got
I think
Gunja
we've
gifting,
done
Dragon gifting.
actually quite
It's been
an
crazy. I
impressive
appreciate you
job in
guys.
using
Maximus.
multiple mediums, I think, with our cinematics and cutscenes. We've got storybook illustrative animatics, that I think are quite relatable, especially when we're exploring
How you feeling? What up, Chad?
really old characters
I'm
from
feeling,
old
brother.
literature. I think that's really nice.
You getting jack shit?
That.
Swimming.
And then we have our in-game cinematics.
Swimming makes me
that are bridging
very happy.
The narrative elements between our gameplay.
Baggins has 2.6K viewers. Baggins also has
but
a huge
I think I'm really
dick.
proud with what we've done. Is we're really from talking to the players from old. You're really going to see a brand new experience here that's really lifted the narrative.
Apparently 725.
Yeah,
Why would they do 725? I don't know.
When you
I
ship
don't know
a wreck
about-
onto the
I don't
island
think that
now,
impacts
there's-
anything.
You're seeing a whole different.
That
seeing
doesn't
a whole
unlock
new
another
paradise
break point.
place at first, or it seems that way.
Yes, I would say it's
Embedded?
a whole
I don't
new
think Baggins
experience. The beginning of
embeds.
the game, I think.
I think
brings
Baggins
you
is
into the
legit.
story. It really sets up all the different factions and characters you're going to deal with. It sets up a lot of the initial mysteries that you're trying to figure out as a player. I think it sort of kicks the game off with a bang.
So much effort's gone into this mission with New World Aeternum.
He used to, but he
lifting up the
stopped
narrative,
once he went like full time.
narrative systems in the game.
Yo,
and
Cap
the
coming in with a
narrative as
gifty to
whole.
Big Mac as well.
And I
Cap,
think
thank you
we've
so much,
really
brother.
kind of reached high.
Yeah, because Asmon was looking at embedding in the New World
successfully
Directory, and
got
Baggins
there.
was streaming, and he said Baggins used to, but doesn't anymore. And Baggins
you
like,
must have some favorite moments.
Yeah, there's almost too many lists, but I think what
Cap,
we've
the
done
actual
with some of the
Chad.
character introductions.
Boys,
and,
we're
like
about
Grace
to beat our
O'Malley pops
last
to mind,
record
like,
for a
very
subtrain.
near
It
the
says
beginning of the
keep up
game,
the
the players
support.
are
We
going
have
to
a
bump
minute
into
and
this
10
Irish
seconds left.
pirate
We're
named Grace O'Malley.
72% to the next level.
And
If anybody out there has their
you walk
primer
up
available,
and she's on the top of
or
her
you
ship
think you might,
shooting
click on the purple
left and
subscribe
right
button and
and
see if
killing
you've got that
corrupted as
thing
they come
lurking.
on her, and it's
We
really it's an
are
awesome scene.
almost
And
there.
it really depicts who Grace is. She's kind of this badass. She's carrying on a conversation with you while it goes on, and that becomes, I think, part of why she's such a great buddy for the player as you go forward from here.
I lost my
And,
prime,
like,
so I
that's
lost
just
my
the
sub.
Tip of the
It's
iceberg,
okay.
though.
I
I mean,
love
there's
you. I
so
love
many
you.
great
Cheeky with
character
the
moments
5.
and characters that you get to meet.
Cheeky,
and, I
cheeky,
think we have
cheeky.
a lot going on with all
We
that.
got shooters
We're
in
super
chat. I
excited for you to
appreciate
come
you.
in and experience
Thank
the
you
world
so
of
much,
Aeternum,
Cheeky. We
meet the
leveling up,
characters that
chat.
we've created,
6,
experience this game that's
1,
radically
9,
different
the large
than
Rey
what came out on
Mysterio
PC 3
with the-
years ago.
with the subs
So
going
come on
crazy.
in,
Level 8
have fun with
complete.
us.
12%
All right, let's
of the
dive
way to
into
level
combat
9.
navigation next. I'm joined by Maldo and JR. Let's start out with navigation. Tell us a little bit about
Is
what it's like
Maldo
to
bald?
navigate in Aeternum.
Sure, yeah. So we actually just rebuilt navigation from the ground up for Aeternum. and that meant redoing all the animations. And the way the game controls is it's very much like other action RPGs that you've played. So you can run around in all directions, regardless
Mama
of
Burger
camera.
coming in with
It's not
100
locked behind you. The game features a lot of verticality, a lot of like ledges
Thank you for the
and
biddies,
things.
Miss Burger.
So we also have there's like a traversal system. So we have like mantling, we have like vaulting over objects, and that was just helps
Is
with like,
Aeternum
the
like a Realm
smoothness of moving
Reborn?
throughout the world.
I don't think.
And the
I don't
jump.
know.
Have we
I'm sure
done
we'll
any
get to
work on
that.
the jump lately?
Yeah, actually. So again, we also
You changed the
redid
gravity.
the jump, and that was largely because we have lots of jumping
I
puzzles
know
in the
you
game.
did.
The world designers like to add lots of verticality, as I mentioned. And so there's lots of climbing, and there's lots of jumping on this narrow ledge sort of gameplay. And so we wanted to improve the jump, give it a little more control in the air to help out there.
And last but not least, what about water? What happens when you hit water?
Yeah, so water. The expectation is that you either swim
Lamani.
or float. You don't sink, right? So in Aeternum, you also float, but you can also swim. So, and that is a new feature that we just added for.
One of my favorite things about Lamani is that the video has been finished.
And Dave, I know you've been spending a lot of time
spoilers.
on how it feels to play with the control in your hand. So
Yo,
how's it
Dirty
feel?
coming in with the
It's
primer.
great. It's great. It feels very natural, super smooth. It's a bit of a challenge. There's just the sheer number of things that you can do in the game. Just changing your stance, swapping weapons, special abilities, everything all on the fly, target locking, switching targets. But it feels really solid right now, very natural. We've got some good default setups already that people can choose, but anybody who wants to get super specific and noodle
Those are
around
new
and
mobs,
rebind
no? Or
keys
at least
to
a
do,
new graphic.
their favorite control setup, they can do that too.
Yo, right trigger as the default
It just feels
attack.
natural when I'm playing it these days.
Can you
I can run around and it does what
imagine
I expect it to do, which
the
is great.
course of
Nice. Well,
war?
let's jump into combat a little
What
bit.
are you
Tell us
gonna
what
use
fighting
for
in
it?
combat is like in Aeternum.
Yeah, so it's an action RPG, and that
you
extends
remember I'm a
to
character
the
to
combat.
restart?
So everything is very
I would assume if there's
action-oriented,
another round of fresh starts that they
everything
give
is
us a fourth
based on,
server.
like positioning
That
and
new UI.
hitboxes
There's a
and
new UI,
timing.
by the way, chat.
There's no auto attack in the game, so it's every button press.
That's
is
the
a,
new
is a
UI that we
swing
saw.
or an ability. And at the core of the combat is your
No
weapon.
new weapon shown.
And your weapon determines your class in Aeternum. And you can have two weapons. So the game basically revolves around, you get your weapon, you apply, you have unlockable abilities. So each weapon has 3 abilities that can be slotted at any time out of 6 possible choices. There's also like passives, and you can choose these as you play, as you attack, as you earn XP, and you can spend that XP to unlock.
Yeah. No, I love like that sort of feeling of progression you get with your weapons, and like you mentioned, having 2 of them is super fun, right? Like I love like setting up a combo with one weapon, then switching to my damage weapon to sort of get the big execute move. So it's super fun to swap between them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that we spend a lot of time on is making sure that all works, that all does what you expect. And that it can support both like
I'm sure there's like a legacy
a light
UI,
level
right?
of play and like high level of play.
Unless it's
for,
like
the
a
most skilled
full.
players.
Awesome. Dave, what
The
about
only
combat
time
on
I
your
haven't
side?
seen like a
Anything
legacy
that has
UI
been
option
adjusted
was
or changed
like
lately that you think
when
is really helping
not
combat?
Fortnite, when Dota
Yeah, I think
transitioned.
I think the biggest, kind of most noticeable addition lately has been all the hit reaction stuff that we've put in. So we want to be really careful with PvP, because PvP is kind of a big and exciting, optional, but big and exciting part of Aeternum. But you can't have players just being tumbled and knocked over and sliding around, every time they get hit with a great axe or something. But for enemies doing PvE content, it's absolutely fantastic. You want that weight, you want those meaty thwacks, you want to see them being, hurled into the bushes by what you're doing, whether it's, throwing fireballs at them or swinging a huge hammer around, and that's made the game just feel fantastic.
So they have like button modifiers. Look at the consumes as well.
It definitely
like left button
changes up
plus
that
A, left
solo
button plus
PvE
B.
experience, and it feels great. JR, what about any sort of assists we've added for combat that are worth
Yo,
mentioning?
chat, 53 gifties during the hype train. Thank you guys so fucking
I didn't
much.
mention,
I love
but
and
you
appreciate
control
every
the
one of you
camera
guys.
with your right stick, which is typical. But our game has a lot of aiming, right? A lot of positional things. So we wanted to help you out with that aiming by giving you target lock. So target lock is an option. You can swap targets with the right stick when you're engaged in target lock. But target lock isn't like a win option. It's like there's like our projectiles still have travel time. So If your target's moving quickly, you might still miss. But we also
targets the chest, right? So you don't get headshots.
That's true. Yeah. So if you want headshots, you need to aim down sights and try to hit the head. But also worth mentioning is aim assist. So that was also something we added to help with aiming out both in and out of target lock.
That's awesome. I think the combat and navigation has really come together. I think the teams really worked hard to get it to feel natural. Jets? How you doing, baby? I know I'm having a blast playing it, and I think you all will too. Let's dig into gathering in our trade skill system. I'm joined by Dan and Patrick. Dan, why don't you kick us off and sort of introduce...
All right. Everybody take a quick pee break. We're back.
Introduce us into how you get introduced into all this part of our game.
Yeah, absolutely. New World is kind of a game where you do awesome combat and you do questing, but then there's also so many side activities. Right away in the game, you get a skinning knife and you hunt a boar and you cook it at a fire for food. You get another tool called a sickle and you use that to harvest herbs nearby. The whole world. It's this kind of place where everything there is ripe for the taking, and you use it. And as you cut plants and cook things, your cooking skill goes up, your harvesting skill goes up. It's just kind of addicting all by itself, and you frequently just forget that you're questing, and you spend an hour just it's great.
One of my favorites is when you chop down a tree, right? I love going into an area and seeing someone have deforested the whole place.
That loud, echoey, it's great.
I like the way that they're presenting this in a way that's going to introduce people to the casual aspects and the time sinks of the game first.
So I think when looking at New World Aeternum's trade skills, there's 3 real pillars to look at. First, you have your gathering trade skills, so logging, mining, skinning, things of that nature, where you're going out in the world and you're finding resources and harvesting those resources. What's really cool about that is as you progress through the world, so too does the items that you're gathering. So instead of mining iron early on, later you're finding mithril or calcum, star metal, all these really cool looking nodes in the world to go find. So that's gathering. Once I've gathered a lot of cool resources, I bring them back to town. And when we're in town, we enter the refining part of the trade skill loop. So this is smelting, weaving, other trade skills that let you refine those goods you've gathered into usable goods for the crafting portion. Which is the 3rd pillar here. That's the actual crafting part of trade skills. So outfitting, weaponsmithing, engineering, arcana, cooking, there's a number of other ones as well. All of these let me take those refined goods and craft them into really cool, usable items. And in most cases, these items are pretty powerful too. So if you're entering gathering and crafting as a early game player, you're making some pretty, I don't know if we can say badass, but pretty badass gear that's going to really carry you throughout those levels and make you much more powerful.
Let it rip.
So it's super exciting. It's one of my favorite parts of our game.
Let it rip.
Yeah, and one of the great things in New World Aeternum is there's a trading post, right? So when you make this stuff,
Golly
then you
gee
can sell it to other
willikers,
players.
man.
Other players can buy it for you, and it creates this sort of player-driven economy.
Sorry you guys had to hear that.
Just key to the game too. Like our player-driven economy, I think is one of the things that really sets us out on the market and makes New World Aeternum just so unique. So you can find your niche in that world as that crafter and make a ton of coin, become a very powerful person on your realm by going about and crafting.
Awesome. Well, those are sort of some of the core trade skill. Any other ones you want to talk about, Dan, and highlight?
Yeah, I mean, the system lets us do other cool stuff that's like we have musical instruments. You get a fishing pole, and there's all these beautiful bodies of water.
Even if progress is reset, I'm a fresh start player.
So the sun's setting over the water, and you're fishing. It's just it's wonderful. There's riding, so you get your mount, and the more you ride your mount, and the more activities you do with your mount, your riding skill increases, which gives you speed and other power-ups.
And then we're going to be talking a little more about Endgame, but this crafting loop also plays into the Endgame a little bit, doesn't it, Patrick?
Yeah, crafting's massive with our Endgame. We'll talk more about that later, but as an Endgame crafter, you're creating some of the most powerful items in our game.
No spoilers.
Like I said, as you level up and increase your trade skill, it gets more powerful with you. So Endgame crafting lets you create the best items in the game to exactly the specification that you want to create. It's a really cool way to tie kind of the broader world into a lot of those Endgame activities that we'll cover later.
Yeah, that control you get out of crafting is a big part of it.
Yeah, it's big. And then one of the other pieces there too is the aptitude system. So the end of crafting, level 250, isn't the end of crafting. Now you can keep going and grind even more levels that will just never end. So I can become the most detailed crafter on my server in weaponsmithing and get great rewards out of that as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining in this deep dive
so there's
onto
the crafting
and gathering. I think, you know, what makes it special for me is
all
like
right,
what
so
you're talking about.
certainly
there's such a density in the
it's
world
like
of New
an
World Aeternum. There's
outward-
always something to do. You can gather this, mine this. It keeps you busy.
outward thing.
It's super fun.
It's hard to stay on track.
Yeah,
There's so much stuff to do.
All right.
Hey
no
there, New World
spoilers.
Aeternum players. I'm here to talk
I'm
to
not
you
looking at
about
chat if you
Soul
guys are dropping
Trials.
spoilers.
So you've
I
already
need to
heard
react.
a little bit about our combat, and Soul Trials are where you get to put some of that combat to work. So what is a Soul Trial exactly? Well, if you like to play solo more
Okay,
by
so this is
yourself
M&K,
than
and this is
in
showing
any of
the
our
old
team
UI.
fights,
The color
then
saturation
Soul
looks
Trials are
different,
going to
though.
be really exciting for you. That's your opportunity to fight
Maybe that's just
one-on-one with
settings-based.
combatants in New World. And it's also a really good
What
opportunity
heart
to
rune
showcase
is
some
that,
of
and
the
why is
Aeternum
that heart
story.
rune so
I'm here with
early?
Rob, who's going
That's
to tell
not
you a
the
little
fire
bit about
tornado,
that.
is it?
Yeah, the what's so cool is, I mean, when we first started this, we were only able to do a couple of these, but like now we've got them in almost like all the big moments of the story have these great climactic fights where oftentimes you're facing up against characters you've met somewhere else in the world.
I'm
and
not
now
clicking
you're
that
having to
article, by the
showdown
way,
with
until
them in
after
this
the
awesome
video.
instance, and they've got all these special moves, and there's a lot of challenge
If
in the
anyone
fight.
spoils it for me,
and it's kind of
I'm
cool because it's something
timing
that
you
I haven't
out.
seen done in an MMO before.
Yeah, and it takes you to a lot of different worlds. You get to go into the world of corruption. You get some heartbreaking moments and a lot of different environments. There's a lot of artistic storytelling too.
For sure. These are kind of like capstone spaces, I think, too, visually, because it's a very controlled space. You're going into this basically like one-on-one arena against whatever the bad is that you're facing. And I think we tried to really make them visually be that capstone as well. Like we really want to ratchet up that
Stone
drama so
form,
it feels
old
like this
UI.
climactic moment that you have to deal with in the story, and then you progress on to the open
forms
world
of
and
stat food
do
on
other
farm?
things. But I think they
Medium
got
fire
a lot of
stuff.
extra attention visually.
And it's super exciting too,
flamethrower.
now that they are repeatable at
Must've been a
Endgame. Like
trick
you could
video.
play these things as many times as you like, which I think was something that we really wanted, since so much attention was put into making these fights interesting. Like to be able to replay them and kind of perfect your approach, I guess, strategically.
Yeah. Even back to some of the ones that players may have missed. So if you're just joining us now and you didn't get a chance in some of the earlier seasons, some of the temporary trials are going to be coming back. So whether you're a new or returning player, you're going to get a chance to play all of those unique fights that we have to offer.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the end game and some of the rewards you'll get from this Soul Trials?
Yes, so Soul Trials are a really good chance to play a solo gameplay. You've got your expeditions and team fights, but you've also got really great gameplay just on your own. And you can still get all of the great loot that you can get in all of the group and team content. You can still get some great loot in the solo content. And as far as Endgame goes, we're going to hand that off to the next group to talk about that.
Okay, this is where it
Patrick,
gets
why don't you
juicy,
kick
right?
us off with what is Endgame?
Yeah, so in New World, when you've reached level 65 and completed your main story quest, you enter the part of the game we call Endgame. At this point, you're starting to chase higher gear score, go and conquer different challenges, harder content, and that's when the game really starts to open up to like a broad variety of activities.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, because the story is a little bit more linear. You follow a set path, but when you hit Endgame, like the choices are so vast.
Absolutely.
So Dan, why don't you talk a little bit about some of those early choices? So I just entered early Endgame.
Gotta be more patient.
What are some things I might be doing?
Yeah, I would say so. The game kind of starts to open up a little bit just before you hit max. So like you'll get access to Outpost Rush. You'll get access to arenas.
What is
earlier than
Outpost
that.
Rush for new players?
Sure, Outpost
Never.
Rush is so we have a few
Nothing
kind of
really
instanced game modes on offer, both PvE and PvP. Outpost Rush is a PvP 20v20. Kind of like, capture the point in battle game mode. It's pretty cool. Then we have arenas, which that's 3v3 PvP.
Screen shakes on, that's all I know.
I mean, but like a lot of it's a lot more organic than just the instant stuff, obviously. So like, one of the things that I know I like to do is like once you kind of get to max level, then you kind of, start focusing on your skills. We have, gosh, I don't even know how many trade skills we have. You can max all those out. You can do musical performances and max those out. Fishing, you can go around the world and do elite chest runs. You can do portals.
And what are portals? Because portals are fun if you're new to the game.
Yeah, so portals are they're kind of cool because you see them in early game. Like the world just kind of turns red and tries to kill you all of a sudden. Then later, when you're like super powerful, you can come back to these random kind of like throughout the world, the kind of corruption takes over and starts to invade
combo.
your reality. and you can like take them on solo, you can try, or you can get a group and go in and farm them out for resources and cool gear.
Yeah, what I like about that is there's something for everyone, right? If you're a total solo player, you got soul trials. If you want to play with big
I'll
groups,
check the
you got
article
things like
out after this video,
invasions,
by the way, guys. I just want to finish this
small
video
group,
first.
You didn't mention much about the expeditions, our dungeon-like experiences.
Yeah, that's another good example of like you start experiencing those through leveling, and then when you get to max level, then like they all become available.
Nice. So let's say I've been playing a little bit now, Patrick, and I'm nearing more of like the mid to late end game. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure thing. So kind of going off that PvP, PvE split. As a PvP player, as Dan already mentioned, you have Outpost Rush, which is a great intro. If you want to take that a step further and really hone in on coordination, you hop into our War mode. This is 50v50.
Yeah, just hop in.
Epic siege of a fort and offers pretty great rewards.
Epic
Other
50v50
options for PvP
siege.
players include the reward track. So all of the PvP you're doing gives you a PvP experience, which leads me to the PvP reward track, which has awesome rewards on it. Great opportunity to get gear up to gear score 700, some unique artifacts. And then on the PvE side of things, we have mutated expeditions. So those, the dungeon-like experience we just talked about. There's harder variants of that, so M1, M2, and M3.
Was that Stoops
with M3
gameplay?
offering the very best
That was
gear
crazy.
for those experiences up to gear score 695 to 700. Really great opportunity to coordinate with a small group of people and take on a pretty difficult challenge as those change week to week. Other big opportunity there for the PvE side is the raid. So yeah, introducing New World's first linear raid, so 3 bosses, each boss progressively harder than the last, and they require pretty elaborate teamwork from a group of 10 players to get the highest gear score gear in the game, capping out at gear score 725. So the raid is a super unique experience, and I'm beyond excited for players to hop into that one.
Yeah, it's super.
Linear raid
What about on the
725
PvP side?
gear
Anything
score?
new else that you want to mention?
There is a
725
free-for-all
doesn't do
area
anything
coming for the
significant?
PvP experience. So
I
this will
don't
be an
think.
opportunity to hop into this as a one-off player. It's very different from anything we've built.
Look at
in
what
the
I
world.
sent you. I will in a minute.
This experience
Finishing the
allows
video
you to go
first.
kill other players, loot chests, kill enemies, and get what we call mystic doubloons out of it. Taking those doubloons to a shop lets you buy some of the best gear in the game, and it's a really thrilling experience. Gets
Is
the heart
that the
going.
artifacts currency?
I'm really excited to see how players like it.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Whether you want to be a
10
killer
more
and
attribute
look at
points
people,
is
and also
crazy.
I'm more of like a
Yeah,
gatherer.
it
I
lets
love
you
going
go
around
250,
trying to get all the
350,
chests and gather
25
stuff
in
and then
another.
Run out before someone gets me.
Yeah, and I love to kill the people doing exactly that. So it's super fun.
It kills me a lot. So Dan, I'm a new player. So much fun stuff to do. Is there any way to sort of help me find all this fun stuff?
Absolutely. So, I mean, a lot of these, you can access these from the map as you explore through the leveling experience, but then
plus
also
5%
from the
damage
menu,
increase
there's
to
a
backstabs
screen
and
called
random
Activity
crits,
Finder,
or 5% ability
which kind of like,
cooldown
it's a
reduction.
one-stop shop for all these activity types,
Mystic
and it gives you
Carlos.
access to the matchmaking pool, which we have a few different varieties of how you can matchmake, including just like a click, and then it enters the system and finds you a group to play with.
Yeah, and now we have some actual matchmaking in some of the modes, like in arenas, which I think will be big.
Yeah, it definitely is going to help a lot. Make sure that the game is like kind of at your right challenge level.
So what if I'm like not into all this power
there's
progression and
matchmaking and
up-leveling my gear?
arenas.
Is there anything for me to do in the endgame, Patrick?
So everyone knows the most important endgame feature is fashion. So there's transmog. There's thousands of appearances in New World that I can go chase. When I get an item, I unlock that appearance in my collection, and then I can transmog that appearance into a wearable piece of armor that I can
If you
slot
have a
onto any
transmog
piece of gear I
token.
have equipped. So if I really like this cool eye patch I find, I can transmog that and change any helmet I have into that cool eye patch. The other side of things is housing. Housing in New World is pretty robust.
Yo,
and we
what
have a
up,
lot
Jules?
of
How
really
you doing,
rare
brother?
housing items, such
Hope
as a
you've been
goldfish
well.
bowl, that you can go find throughout the world. And if you find those, they're
Miss
awesome
you,
collector's
cutie.
items. They sell for a ton of coin, and they're pretty prestigious items to find. So go and hunt down that cool fashion, that cool housing items. And it's an awesome solo end game right there.
Yo, boys, if you're one
Hey,
of
well,
my
thanks for
retired
joining me
goats
to talk
coming
about
back
the
for the
endgame.
announcement,
I
make sure
really
you
love
stay
this
to
part
check
about
out how the
New World
wars
Eternum.
are.
It's where the game
I've
opens
got
up.
2
You
wars
sort of get
on
to
the
find your own
agenda
path. What do you
tonight.
like to do?
We're
I think
actually
there's something
fighting
for everyone to enjoy
NA
here in the
versus
endgame.
SA's best.
Hey everybody,
So
I'm
that'll
Scott,
be an
and I'm
absolute
joined
banger
today
at
by
9 p.m.
Dave and
EST
Andy,
in
and we're
2
going to talk
hours,
about
so.
the performance and quality improvements in New World Aeternum. So I think we can all agree, like, our game feels the most fun when you're playing with lots and lots of people in the world, and it feels
Other
full and
Dave, both
populated.
Daves.
What are some of the things we've been working on to give us that feeling when you're playing the game?
Sure. So first thing, we're adding crossplay support to console. It's going to roll out on Xbox and PlayStation. And really what this is going to do is make the worlds feel more alive. You're going to be able to play with your friends on multiple platforms. You're going to be quest with them, play together on everything you would be able to do on PC. So we think, with crossplay being reintroduced with console, it's going to feel like a great experience.
Nice. And so when we have all these
Certainly
Xbox and PlayStation and PC players playing together,
Certainly it's exclusive.
we need to make sure that we can put them all in the same world and stuff. So what kind of tech have we added to help with kind of like our population density?
So we've added both tech to get you into the game faster, so that we can eliminate any queues at the beginning of the game to get people in there, as well as tech to allow players to be a lot more dense,
sharding.
so you can have more people in combat.
Say sharding.
At the same time.
Talk about your sharding tech.
All right, so then the queuing tech that you're talking about, like it's going to apply no matter how many people are waiting to play. We're going to be able to get them in right away.
Yeah, our goal is to get a large volume of players into the worlds that they choose as fast as possible, so they can enjoy a new world.
How do you do that?
And if that world's not available, then we're going to allow you to select the world of your choice so that you can immediately play the game.
That's awesome. And so that's a lot of optimization work we've done and iteration on the combat experience and different kind of like key experiences. When, like lots of people are in town, lots of people are in combat, things like that.
So that you can immediately players into
the to play. We're going to be able to get them in right away.
Yeah, our goal is to get a large volume of players into the worlds that they choose as fast as possible.
Into the
so
worlds
they
that
can
they
enjoy a new world
choose?
Aeternum. And if that world's not available, then we're going to allow you to select the world of your choice so that you can immediately play the game.
Yo.
That's awesome. And so that's a lot
that
of
just for like initial character
optimization
creation
work
they
we've
call
done
servers
and
worlds?
iteration on
I'm aware.
the combat
I don't know
experience
if
and
that's
different
like
kind of
different.
like key experiences.
Like
when,
you can
lots of
freely
people are in
server
town,
swap,
lots of
or
people are in
if they're
combat,
talking about
things like that,
sharding.
to make it so that we can like show all of that.
I feel like you're
at,
talking about
good frame
sharding.
rates and like basically we want it to play great and it will. So then on the visual side, what are some of the other big features that players can look forward to?
Sure. So there's been a lot of work that's been done on the game to help just with asset loading and optimization as a whole across the game. And really this all goes towards the benefit of improving performance on console. The engine has gone through an overhaul, and we've added 4K support, HDR support. Really what that means is on your console, when you're playing on your big screen TV, it's going to look great.
That's tragic.
So a lot of time and effort's gone into just making it feel like a brand new engine when you play on console. Well, it is a brand new engine, essentially.
And PC players are going to be able to take advantage of that as well.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's all we've got for today. We could dive deeper into the weeds, but we'll save that for future videos. We'll have deeper dives into this and other topics.
We'll be yapping right up until the start of my war.
With all these improvements, the game is going to feel great, and we can't wait for you all to play it. So thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks everybody. We covered so much, but there's still a lot more to talk about. On top of that, we are just so excited to bring Aeternum to all of you console and PC players around the world. Stay tuned for more information, including updates on closed beta. But other than that, we will see you
in Aeternum!
Closed beta, so it's a new game. Are they completely ripping New World? All right, hold on. Let's peep this article. New World to be removed and replaced with upcoming ARPG reboot, but they still mentioned wars and stuff. Amazon. I don't want to pre-register. How can I get out of this? Let me close. I just want to close. X. I got belly ads for deodorant. They know I'm stinky. If you ever wanted to look at a game which defines what it means to have a mixed response, you can't do better than point to New World. Amazon Games MMORPG has had a rough ride, delayed, hit by falling player numbers, revived by an expansion, and now back into the danger zone of player headcounts once again. New World died when Jules' cute button-downs left the scene. That said, the future may be more positive, as we'll soon be waving goodbye to New World and saying hello to New World Aeternum. In a move rarely seen in gaming, New World is set to disappear from storefronts and technically cease to exist. The MMORPG is going to close its doors, but it won't be disappearing fully. Instead, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, it will return in the form of New World Aeternum, a co-op ARPG, which will act as replacement, expansion, and spiritual sequel. I'm not very spiritual. Can I just stay on New World? For fans of the original game, all the content previously released will still exist in New World Aeternum, including Rise of the Angry Earth expansion and all DLC. Despite this, it won't be entirely the same experience, as most of the game will be remixed in this new version. New World's story, classes, and builds are all going to be updated, meaning even if you're very familiar with the MMORPG, there will be some surprises for you. Those who have played New World will still feel at home, despite this being a considerable rebuild of the title. Aeternum continues to be the island setting, with players washing up on its shores after a shipwreck before setting off to become legends. Facing down cursed foes with a mix of melee combat, ranged weapons, including multiple guns, there too, and sorcery, players make their mark on this mysterious island. Of course, it wouldn't be a relaunch if there weren't some new stuff getting added to the mix. It's a grammatical error. If there wasn't some new stuff getting added to the mix. A brand new PvP zone, a 10-player raid, endgame trials, and much more is planned for the game. The biggest change, however, is the reorientation of New World from MMORPG to a co-op focused adventure. Players will be able to play solo or in groups with cross-platform support, letting PC players invite friends on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. So, in addition, target locking, new accessibility features. Okay. New World Aeternum is set to launch on Tuesday, October 15th, and PC players who own the previous game will receive an Azoth Stalker Wolf mount, another grammatical error, at release. For more information on New World Aeternum, head over to the official site to learn more. In the meantime, why not shut the fuck up? Official site. New World Aeternum, available October 15th. Steam, Xbox Series S. Experience a thrilling action RPG set on the supernatural island of Aeternum. They're literally rebranding it as an ARPG. A vast world. Aeternum, the Eternal Island, is a vast land filled with diverse creatures, supernatural dangers. So this was one thing that was interesting. On the console page, it had it branded as massive online 1 to 1,000 players on the console page. Are wars gone? Nah, they still said wars in the dev announcement. They showed wars. What happens when you try to pre-order on Steam? I'll pull up the Steam page in just a sec. Recently posted. Do not buy. Game has been abandoned by the devs. As of 6/7/24, new content and updates are unlikely. Game-breaking bugs caused by simple math errors plague the game for months at a time. Let's see. Deadass game. If your junior announcement is so pathetic, at least be upfront about it instead of hyping up this nothing burger for almost a year. Luckily, the devs have shown how untrustworthy they are for years, so none of us got our hopes up. Oh, dude. Oh, this is bad. Was enjoying the game with the new update. I can't even get past the load screen. Was this even related? This was just coincidental. Oh man. Wait, show graph top right. Oh, huge. Where are we at? Oh. Yo, what up, Shul? Yeah, this is bad. This is very bad. This is very bad. I don't know what to think. Oh my good gracious. The entire player base. All 379 of us. Well, I just want to give a huge thank you to the AGS devs for giving me personally a ton of questions to look forward to answering very soon. We hope we get some more information on this. If you also have a lot of questions regarding New World Aeternum, the trailer that was kind of cryptic for the existing player base, and everything to come with consoles, stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to be breaking down all of the changes that are coming into the game and giving my take on everything as a war player with over 4,500 hours in the game. I appreciate you guys being here. I'll catch you next time.